Back in Philadelphia. We know you well here. And
well, this is my old stomping grounds.
Yes.
I love it here. But Philadelphia schools, you've got a $629 million budget gap. The state has cut money. It's got its own problems. This is sort of a trickle-down or domino effect. And it comes down to the Philadelphia school system, and it seems like the superintendent and the mayor had miscommunication on whether or not local taxes were going to have to be raised to make up the gap. And meanwhile, the kids are the real issue.
I can just tell you that the good news story is that we've had 9 straight years of improved test scores, graduation rates, college-going rates. It's a multi-billion-dollar school budget. There is a shortfall mainly because the governor has put forth a budget that would slash not just K-12 education, but higher education. But I think that the mayor and the school superintendent are going to work together. The mayor's come out, I think, in an extraordinary way to say that he's for additional taxes locally here in Philadelphia if we have to make sure that we have full-day kindergarten, that we have the other programs that have produced the 9 years of straight. There's no other school district in the country that's had the record of improvement. And I know Joel Klein and others in New York have had some good years, but the reality is we've had the best of all of the big school districts, and we have to keep moving in the right direction.
Are people here willing to pay higher taxes in order to try to make up for these budget cuts that are coming down from the state?
Well, the fact is Philadelphia's pay some of the highest taxes anywhere in the country.
Right.
But for our children, our city's future, we have to do what we have to do. And so the mayor and many of the leaders in city council have come forward and said that if this is what has to be done, they're willing to do it. I was in Connecticut yesterday. I was at the United Technologies plant, Pratt Whitney. They're building thousands of engines for airplanes. A young 20-something young woman who's an engineer has developed a new way to do engines for airliners, the best sales they've ever had, and 12,000 people working on a new concept. This is what happens when you give young people a chance. They get an education. They can help retool our entire economy.
What about higher education and the challenges in trying to help young people without the means pay for increasingly expensive educations?
Well, we used to have a notion in Washington that we could let education just be a local issue, but then we know it's a national imperative. And Gear Up, which is a program I created in Congress, has now got some 700,000 young people in the program, getting them ready to go on to college. Our country can't compete against much larger countries like China and India.
Or smaller ones like Finland and Singapore.
If we don't educate our children. And so we have to do more. The next space shuttle and the last launch will be led by a Philadelphian, native Philadelphian. His name is Ferguson. We need to give our young people those kinds of opportunities so that they can go forward and help lead our country.
Let me give you just a couple of seconds here. A member of the Democratic caucus, while you've been busy working on schools and education, Anthony Weiner has been getting himself into a whole mess of trouble. Should he resign?
Well, I'm going to focus not on the birds and the bees. I'm going to focus on the 3 R's, you know, reading, writing, and arithmetic. We need to get our young people educated. Scandals always kind of occupy the center stage in Washington. The truth of the matter is, when we look at the National Science Foundation, we're putting $7 billion. Singapore, a much smaller country, less people in Singapore than we have in the Philadelphia area. They're putting $5 billion into their National Science Foundation.
Congressman Fattah, a great guest, a great pal, and the best dodge I've seen in a long time. Great to see you.
All right.
Thanks for joining us. And EducationNation.com is the location for more about the NBC.